Hi everyone, Catherine here from Cat V Stitches, and welcome to my channel about cross stitch. And today it is specifically about this gorgeous GeckoRouge pack that I received 2 days ago, and that's Saturday the 15th. So today is Monday the 17th, but what I thought I would do, because this is my very first GeckoRouge kit, is I'd quickly run through it with you. Oh, and there's the cat coming to say hello. Okay, so I bought the GeckoRouge kit Wind of Change, which is in 3 parts, as you can see here. This is part 1, part 2 and part 3. I chose the 28 count, the 28 count, which is for each of the 3 panels. It works out at 4.5 inches by 11.29 inches. And as I said, I got the full pack. So contained within each package is, oh, I got PDF, by the way, I got the PDF version. So contained within each pack, well, I'll show you because this one hasn't actually been opened yet. Oh, by the way, I bought this on the 30th of December, and as I said, I received it on the 15th. So taking into account postage and all of that, that's less than 2 weeks really for them to turn it around. So that's actually really good. So I'm very happy with that. So let's have a look here. So you get in the pack, so remember this is the PDF version, so it doesn't have a paper pattern, but you get obviously a picture. And to be honest, this, I measured it, is pretty much the size of what it will be. So there's my hand anyway. I've got tiny hands, by the way, but there we go. So and this is part 2. You get instructions on how to do cross stitch. You get your key. Now the key, although it does say that it is DMC thread, on the key, I don't know if you can see that yet, I think that's focusing, it doesn't actually put the DMC number. It's got the symbol, the actual colour, and then just a number there, but that's running from 1 to 68. It's not the actual DMC number, and that will become important in a little bit. But for now, there's your key. Here's your material, and it's a big piece. This is 28 count easy guide or easy grid, whichever the Zweigart one is. I was concerned that it wasn't going to be the easy grid because I hadn't taken any notice when I ordered it, but it is. And as you can see, given that I said that this was a 1-to-1 scale, excuse me, as you can see, there is oodles of room on that piece of fabric for the pattern, so they're very, very generous with the fabric, and the 3 of them are pretty much the same size. So yeah, so the fabric, really good, really happy with that. Nice and generous. And then here are your threads. So it's on these great cards, these floss cards with your numbers running from 1 to there we go, 1 to 68. And I've just managed to tangle it all up there. Never mind. So I will probably just use this as I'm doing it. I might as well just keep it in here because it's nice and organised. Yeah. Oh, and you even get a little needle with it as well, and that's in each of the packs as well. So this particular one, so this is, sorry I didn't say this at the beginning, this is Jessilyn Park, and as I said, it's Winds of Change. You can actually get each part separately, but I decided to get it as the triptych. So there we go, some lovely colours there, so I'll be looking forward to doing that. As I said, I've got 28 count, so what I'll probably do is 2/1 tent stitch, because I have another or half stitch, I have another full coverage that I'm doing on 28 count, and I'm finding the 10th stitch gives really good cover. So there we go. And what I have done already on part 1, which is the one I'm going to be starting, is I've already gone round the edges and zigzagged it so it doesn't fray. Right, so those are the packs. It came in just 3 packs were together in this, and in a good old FedEx bag there, so it was well wrapped. There was no damage or anything to the packs, and it's all excuse me, and everything is here. So let me just put this here for now. So I will be working on this one, which is part 1. Now I have already loaded part 1 into Pattern Keeper because I wanted to see if it was compatible, and I don't know if you can see there, as you can see I've done my little zigzag stitches around the edge, and this has got lots of lovely purples and blues in it. Yeah, so I've already loaded it into Pattern Keeper to see how it worked, but what I thought I would do is show you, just in case anyone else out there is interested in getting a GeckoRouge one and is wondering about its compatibility to Pattern Keeper, especially given that they don't actually list the DMC numbers on here, and they don't list them on the PDF pattern either. It's still just ones from 1 to 58 or however many numbers there are. So what I will do is I'm going to load up the second pattern into Pattern Keeper. So just let me get into Pattern Keeper very quickly. So here we go. We're in my Pattern Keeper here. There's part 1 there. Let's see if I can get that to focus on it. Maybe not. So what I'm going to do is in the bottom here there's a little plus button, so I'm just pressing that. It asks me if I want to load a PDF file or a camera where you take the picture yourself and then grid it up. Well, I've got a PDF, so I'll go PDF file. PDF. So just give me 1 second while I bring that up. So at the moment it's gone straight to the last place I was, which was in my drive. So what I did, they sent me my PDF patterns by email, and I just downloaded them from email to my Google Drive. And so what Pattern Keeper has done is just taken me back to the last place I was, which was the folder in Google Drive where I happen to have saved my Winds of Change ones. So let's look. So there's part 2 there. So what I'll do is select part 2, and there we go. So now it is reading first page, parsing grids on page. There we go. Sorry, the cat can hear me speaking and she always comes over when I'm speaking. So that's processing the pages now. So it's reading the symbols. So far so good. Dum-de-dum. It's not like a 50-page of this, so it shouldn't take too long. Let's have a look. We're on page 13. Page 14. Oh, here we go. So it's asking, does the chart below have any shaded or lightly coloured rows or columns at the edges? So what it's asking is, you know, in a lot of patterns, it'll, on one page, it'll have maybe 3 or 4 columns and rows that are shaded because they're then duplicated on the next one. Well, on these full coverage ones, they don't. However, on this page, unfortunately, it does look like there are shaded ones, but it's not. So I'll click no, there are no. How about this one? Are there any shaded ones? Well, no, there's not. And if it was a yes, you just click yes, and then it asks you to select how many columns or rows are shaded. So it's read the pattern, it's imported it, it's got the grid lines on, and now it's saying to input thread numbers, because obviously it's not a standard DMC one like Haid where it does this automatically. So I set input So what I know now to do is, I am not going to fill all of this in manually, because if you do that, if I were to select one of these, it'll bring up a little table and it'll ask you to input the number of the thread. So if I were to input number 1 from here, it'll think it's number 1 DMC, which there isn't one, so it won't work. Or if it was number 50, if this one was, for example, number 50 for the GeckoRouge, if I put number 50 in, it'll look for number 50 DMC, and again that'll be the wrong colour. So what I'd do instead is I click Advanced Options, and it's saying here are some options if you don't have access to the thread numbers or don't want to import them all by hand. Import colours from a GeckoRouge thread card file, and that's what I want to do. So import from a GeckoRouge. It's finding it, so there's part 2. It's loading it. Now hopefully this works. I'm hoping we're going to hope together on this one, because it actually selects, oh no, it's working, there we go. Dunno, it's done it. So I know you can't really see anything from there, it's just basically the picture. So if we look, we've done part 2. There's part 2, and it is spot on. So it worked. Ha! So, oh, that's brilliant. So let's verify. Import. So the numbers are done. Oh, as in, oh, it's okay, so that's fine. Let's go on. And there we go. So I'll take that out of the way because that's now showing the pattern. But there we go, so that was really nice and easy. So I've now got my 2, and I'll obviously put the third one in at a later time, but that is how easy it is if you've got Pattern Keeper to import this into Pattern Keeper. So I am really happy with this. They look great, they're in good nick, the threads all look nice and shiny and in good nick. So what I will do, maybe not tonight but tomorrow night, is I will set this up and start to stitch on it, and I'll just do a 5-minute or so thing with you as I'm stitching it, and then I will upload this. So anyone else who is interested in buying a GeckoRouge pack, just so you can see how easy it is and how quick the turnaround is for it. Right, anyway, I'll leave that there. Yep, I will see you later. Bye. Hi everyone, Catherine here. Welcome back. So I'm going to do a, oh sorry, that's my little magnification thing. I'm going to do a mini stitch with me on my GeckoRouge one, and this is part 1. Let me just pop that there. That's the part 1. I'm going to be working in, oh, I'm going to be working up there. If there's a little bit of noise, it's because even though it's 8 PM, my next door neighbour has decided to clean the carpets, and my cat keeps coming next to me. So yeah, I apologise, but this is literally the only time I'm going to have to do this, and I desperately want to start this piece, so I thought I would take you along for the ride. So I have it on, oh sorry, I have it on Pattern Keeper here, and I'm just going to be working here. And as I think I mentioned in the previous clip, I'm going to do a bit of an experiment doing diagonal parking. I'm just going to be doing it 2/1 half stitch or 10 stitch, however you want to say it. And we'll see how we go. So I'm just going to work in this little corner here, and I'm going to try the parking method. And I'm a bit all discombobulated at the moment, which I'll go into in a little bit. Sorry, let me just move that slightly, because I've had to change all my stitch about a little bit. But let's get started with this first of all, and then I can get into all the fun stuff. So this first one, number 39, 39. So the one thing about this, however, is because I'm doing 2/1, and they don't actually give you. I'm not sure how generous or ungenerous they are with their threads, so I'm going to have to try and be a bit sparing, or ones I think I'm going to run out of, either contact them to find out what the DMC is or try and match it up with my DMCs. But anywho, that's a problem for future Catherine, and present Catherine is got too much of a brain fry going on to actually be interested in helping future Catherine. So yeah, let's get started, which is not normally the case. Normally I am quite generous to future Catherine and do try and not cause her problems, but yeah, that's not happening today. Okay, can I move that anymore? There we go. Right, let's get started. So this doesn't start in the true corner, so it's, bear with me while I do some counting, peeps. 1, 2, 3. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2 stitches from the top. So that's 1, 2. There we go. I hope you can right, I don't think you can see that there was, so let me move that there. Sorry guys. There we go. So because I'm doing it 10 stitch, I'm doing it 2/1, I can do good old loop start, and this needle is too big that I'm using, so I may change this needle. So there we go, first stitch in. Yeah, I'm going to change this needle. Sorry guys, just let me change that. Right, so I hope you are all okay in this. I'm just using my handy little needle threader here, because this is quite a narrow needle. So this is just whoop, like magic. Okay, so this is really awkward position. Yeah, there we go. So 2, miss 1, down, miss 1, and then 5. Oh, got a bit of fluff on the back of here. There we go. One. Yeah, so I hope you're all doing well. I've been watching the telly about the volcanic eruption, and that is just horrendous. 5. Okay, and I don't think there is any more for that one for a while, so because I'm just going to pop it there for now, which I know isn't true. Actually, now this is where I start to get tempted to do other things, but no, I'm not going to. I'm going to stick to my guns on this, and I'm going to do diagonal parking. So I get a feeling I'm going to be wasting a lot of thread if I'm not careful on this. I might have to get in contact to see what their policy is if you run out of thread. But so the way that I've seen other people do this is you just kind of, if we say pop it here, and then snip that, and then yeah, let's pop that there. Okay, so that's my first one done, and I will obviously stitch over that as I'm going. Yeah, I've been watching the news about that eruption, and it is terrible what's happened. I just, you know, my thoughts and my prayers are with everybody who has been affected by that. But it does really put things in perspective. You know, we are very lucky here in the UK. So the next one is number 58. Sorry, that we live in a fairly stable environment when it comes to things like weather and the environment and whatnot. Oh, well, this is tangled up. That's great. Oh, hecky thump. It never goes easily in there. There we go. And we live in a, you know, a fairly stable environment. You know, geologically, weather-wise, I can't speak at all today. My brain is just mush. Okay, that is a massive tangled mess. I don't know what has happened there. I'm going to have to sort that out later. Let's have a look what am I doing on this one. Yeah, it appears in the next one and the next one a lot, so I'll do a full thing here. Sorry, I'm talking to myself here. And we're very lucky in this country. You know, we do every now and then have little bits of extreme weather or whatever, but it's nothing in comparison to what happens in a lot of areas in the world. So, yeah. Not good at all. I used to do geology at university. That's what my degree is in. So, you know, you've got a feeling of being fascinated in all of it, because, you know, it's something that you studied, and volcanology was something that I really was fascinated in. But then when it actually happens and you see, you know, how it's affecting people, it's, yeah. But anywho, as I said, you know, thoughts and prayers are with anyone who has been affected by it. So there's 3 of this. 3, okay. Right, so, oh, and there's another one over here as well. So we go, it's the 4th in from 4th in, so that's 1, 2, 3. Oh, I'm coming the wrong way there. So there we go. So there's that, and then there's 3 spaces. Oh, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then this, that's it for this diagonal now. So if I show you this quickly, as you can see, so I have just done that stitch. Oh, sorry, I've just come off it. I have just done that stitch there. So I'm going to try and be strict now. So in the next diagonal, which is this, it appears down here. So I'm going to park it there. So that is 3 from the bottom. Let's see, so that's 1, 2, 3. Yep. So there we go. So I've parked in the bottom bottom left hand corner. Yeah, things have just been a bit, I've wanted to start this because, oh god, what's gone on here? Because things have just been And wouldn't you know it, this is all tangled up here. This is just, yeah, typical, 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 typical. Just when I'm not wanting to waste any of this thread, and now this has got all tangled up. Pete's sake. So anywho, I think that needle is just got a bit sharp inside the eye and it's catching all the thread. Let me just mark this off on here. And mark my parking off. Okay, well, and I'm parking bottom park thread in lower left corner. There we go. Okay, so next one is number 30. So, my life, well, there have been 4 things that's been going on in the last week or so that has caused me to get, as my friend would say, my knickers in a twist. Some fairly minor and some not so minor. So the minor ones are the fact that my sofa is I've had to switch sides on my sofa because the side I normally sit on now, I've had this sofa for quite some time now, and it's my backside is, let's say, amply proportioned, and so it's worn the seating down, because for a while basically I was using my sofa kind of like my office as well, because with my coccyx and that, there was very few places where I was very comfortable sitting for long periods of time. And when I was working from home, it was my sofa that gave me my relief. So it's had a lot of use in the last couple of years. So I phoned up the place I bought it because they offer a scheme where they'll come and if it's, sorry, let me just count 1, 2, 3, 4, this 4. If it's structural, they'll replace it. If it's within 15 years. Or they'll come and have a look at it and tell you what you need to do, so you avoid wasting your money buying a brand new sofa when you don't need to, basically. So they came around on Saturday. It's not structural. It's not structural. There's 4, and what they tried to do to help me out was to put some extra foam in there to like bump up the cushioning. And then they went, but it's actually made it really uncomfortable now, and I can't take that, I can't take it out, what they've put in. I've done that stitch the wrong way, it's pulling. Excuse me, that's what happens when I don't concentrate. And I can't pull it out, so the side I normally sit on now, it's just so uncomfortable. So I'm basically back to having to buy a new seating cushion, which really is what I should be doing anyway. And so I've got to wait for that, and they'll fit it in for me and everything, so I don't have to worry about that. But it's just waiting to find out how much that's going to cost, and then for when they can come and actually fit it in for me. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. So in the meantime, what has happened is I am having to switch everything over to the other side of the sofa, and that is basically akin to having to switch sides of your bed, which for anyone who's ever had to do that, it is not pleasant. So now all my stitching is all on the wrong side, so to speak, and it's just taking me a little bit of time to get used to it. So I'm having a moan over basically nothing, but you know what, don't care. it's my party and I'll moan if I want to. Right, so that's parking there because this is actually outside the diagonal and I'm trying to be strict just so I can see if this works. So let me mark this off. And I have parked it there. Oh, and I've actually, because I'm weird, I've actually parked in a different area. Okay, so that's parked there. So the next one is number 44. Okay, so that's the sofa. So that's a minor one. So that's just me having a moan. The next one is my boiler has gone kaput. Well, not fully kaput, it still gives me heat and everything, but what's happened is, there we go, I've got a condenser boiler and it keeps running out of water, and when it runs out of water it stops working. So if I've not checked, I've not put water in it before I've gone to bed, I've woken up in the morning to a freezing cold house. So I've got to have the plumber around on tomorrow. They're coming tomorrow. Yep, so that's that. So that's another minor thing. And then for the two ones that are really giving me concern at the moment, and that is I went to the vet with Tabby, who is my white tabby cat, and they were concerned because she's lost weight. Now I knew she'd lost a bit of weight because, you know, she went through a period where she had quite a bit of stress and she was over grooming, but then she stopped over grooming and she seemed to have, so this is 3 stitches, yeah, she seemed to have, you know, calmed down and seemed to be much better. You know, she's eating and everything, so I didn't think anything of it. But then of course the vets are like, well, look, we are, you know, compared to what she was like last year, she has lost, you know, a noticeable amount. So we want to do some blood tests, so, you know, I had to pay a couple of £100, get the blood test done. And well, I got the results today. And basically she has a high, why am I doing it this way? I don't know why I'm doing it this way, because I'm just setting myself up for a fail here. Hang on, let's change this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. Sorry, I'm talking to myself here. Well, I'm talking to myself entirely here, but you know what I mean. So yeah, so high glucose level, so now they're concerned that she may be diabetic. So I have had a diabetic cat before. My first cat, Indy, was diabetic, and basically what happens is your entire life revolves around giving injections to your cats. And I know this. You know, I have been there before. Sorry, I'm just trying to mark this off on here, but for some reason there we go, that's better. It's not wanting to play ball with me. There we go. Yeah, it's a big thing, especially when you're living on your own. Everything, you know, has to revolve around it, and everything becomes very complicated. Because, you know, if you want your cat to have a really good standard of living, you've got to make sure that those injections are given 12 hours apart and you don't mess about with it. Just, you know, just like a human who is diabetic, you know, regularity is the key. But that means, like I said, that your entire life then has to revolve around it. So like if you're doing a 7/7 shift, you've got to give them the injection every morning at 7 o'clock, and you've got to give it every evening at 7 o'clock. And then you work around that with everything else, because otherwise it's not fair on the animal. But it also means staying away from the house becomes very complicated, you know, because, you know, who can you ask to give injections to your cat? And anyway, it is what it is. I'm just praying like hell for her sake she's not got diabetes, but also I'm thinking if she has, it's going to mean there's going to be a lot of changes, which I will do because I happen to love my cat to death. But it'd be things like I'll have to cancel the stitch and retreat I was planning on going on, because I'm not, you know, that's within the next couple of months, and the first few months are very important to make sure that everything is regular. And yeah, it is what it is, you know. It's just yeah. So I've got to take her back on Wednesday to get more blood tests, which is another couple of hundred, but it doesn't matter. And then we shall see what we shall see. But the other thing is if it was going to happen to one of the cats, it's happened to the cat who is an absolute nightmare to do anything to. You just can't get hold of her. This is the last one here now. You literally cannot get hold of her to do anything to her. So well, yeah, I'm going to have to come up with something that's going to make that, well, anyway. Yeah, let's just leave that at that for now. I might just be inventing trouble where there is none, but, you know, my brain will automatically go for the worst case scenario. And, yeah. So, anyhow, that's Wednesday. That's Wednesday's problem. And then the other thing is work. Just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water. Yeah, my and the guy I'm kind of working with, we've kind of got the same job title, but he's like senior to me, so I'm the junior one. And I've known this man for quite some time, and one of the reasons why I went to this place after the bad experience I had on the last place I worked is that I really trust him. And so I went there knowing that I was going to be working for someone who I trusted, working with someone who I trusted, and blah blah blah. Well, he is now leaving, not because there's anything wrong with he's wanting to take things easier kind of thing. He's, you know, getting near retirement age, so he wants the place we work at the moment, there's a lot of work needed, and it's, yeah. But anyway, so he is wanting to take it easy. See, have I got that right? And then there's another. Okay, so I've done 1, 2, 3. Sorry, I just need to count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've just not highlighted that row. Let me highlight it. Sorry, guys. I'll show you what I've done in a second. 4, 5. There we go. And now we are yeah, so he's leaving, and they have hired somebody new in because I am not experienced enough to be able to Oh, hecky thump. Yeah, that should not be there. I have 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Okay, so I have made a mistake. I'm gonna have to pull these out now. So this can be a frog with me. Oh, do you know what? Let me just have a look at this picture. Nope, it's staying. They're staying in. It's 2 stitches wrong and it's staying in. I'll just correct it going forward. And what have I just done with my needle? People, what have I just done with my needle? Is that it? That'll do. Yeah. Oh dear, never mind. Yeah, so they have hired somebody new, but it's somebody I don't know. But other people who work there do know him, and they've, you know, given him a really good report. And I have, you know, had discussions with him, and he does seem, you know, he really knows his stuff and all of that. But it's still a case of, I do not know this man. And yeah, so right, so that is space there, and this goes all the way across again. So that's kind of it's a situation that maybe 2 or 3 years ago would not have stressed me out in the least, but you know, given everything that's happened in the last year or so, it kind of does give me a bit of anxiety now. So yeah, we will just have to see what happens. And without, so this goes all the way across to here, and I just like tabby. I may just be inventing trouble where there is none, but you know, where you just got that feeling in your pit of your stomach, and you just, sometimes you can't help it, can you? You just, yeah. So that goes there. So we've got one last stitch on this row. So there's that. Oh, Catherine, you silly, silly person, you've gone into the next diagonal there. Doesn't matter. So strictly speaking, I have already crapped up this diagonal stitching, but we'll just have to continue it for now, and I'll get back on track. So what I've done, because I've got so carried away stitching this, let's see if I can show you that. All of this is the same here. I've just carried on going, and I was supposed to have been stopping at that diagonal there. Oh, now I've got a cat coming at me the other. Hello, you. Yeah, sorry, I've got a cat that's just sat where I was putting my hello, where I was putting, so let me move that, the tablets with Pattern Keeper on, and I've got a cat the other side. Oh no, she's moved. I can pull it back. There we go. So yeah, so those are the 4 things at the moment that are going on in my life. All of them will be resolved, and you know, I'll just, you just deal, don't you? You just have to deal. So that's one there, and this now just goes all the way back across, and then I think I'll just finish this thread, which I think will be finished within this, only going out a little bit. This goes all the way across, This is a nice colour of thread, this. I'm wondering if I caught my thread at the bottom. Excuse me 1 second, guys, I just need to flip over my work. Nope, there's no knot. I just felt like there was a knot underneath there. But at least although I am on the other side of the sofa, at least I am now sat on a comfy cushion again. So you know, there is some things. I've got a cat right down beside me here, purring very loudly. Okay, so there we go. And there's only 2 stitches that are wrong, so I'm fine with that. I'll live with that. Right, I've got a little bit more left on here. So this is 1 thread, 2 stitches there that cross over there, and then another 5, a gap of 1, and then 5, and I think that might end this. 2, 3, 4, 5, and then there's a gap, and then there's 2, and then that takes us to the end of the row, and then there's 2 underneath it, so let me just mark that off. Right, I am trying to stay within the confines of this next diagonal because there are actually more stitches over here, but they're in the another diagonal across, and I'm, you know, I've already broken the rule once, so let's just go down here. That's 1, and that's 2. So that's them 2. I will show you in a second what I've stitched. Then there's a gap of 2, and then I think I might get 1 more stitch out of this, and then I will pull this across to be stitched over. Oopsie. 2, and then I will pull this out here. There we go. So there we have it, the start of my pattern. Let me show you what I have. Let me move that out of the way a little bit. I have done, so this is what I mean, is I did a little upsie and carried on stitching here. But, right, sorry everybody, just close your eyes for a second while I zoom back out. So I can, there we go. So, let me move that slightly. So this is the first diagonal here, which I've practically finished anyway, so I was going to move on to this second one anyway, but I have kept now, move that there. My next one is I'll stitch everything in this diagonal here, so I'm not too concerned about the fact that I kind of stitched over. But yeah, so that is the start of this. I think I'm going to try and commit to carrying on with this old parking method. See how that works out. Let me just pop that down. Am I concerned about running out of threads? Yes, I am concerned about running out of threads, but like I said, I'm going to try not to dwell on it and let that be future Catherine's problem. Am I concerned about my cat? Yes, I'm concerned about my cat. Am I concerned about the boiler and the sofa? No, I am not. Am I concerned about my job? I'll deal with it. But these are all really minor things in the face of what's going on at the moment. So I want to thank you. Oh, there's my little octopus needle minder there. I want to thank you for letting me vent. I hope you have enjoyed watching me struggle keeping to doing diagonal parking. And I hope it was helpful for you to be able to see what a GeckoRouge pack looks like and how everything is packed away in there and how easy it is to actually put that on Pattern Keeper. So excuse me, I hope everybody is safe and well and that you're doing everything you can to keep well. For those of us here in the UK, with a bit of luck, we might be got over that hump on this now, so fingers crossed that it carries on going as it is, even though we have got a total muppet in charge at the moment. I'm not going to say anything else about that because this is not a political thing, so leave that at that. For everybody else out there, you know, thoughts and prayers as always with all of you, and yeah, happy stitching everybody. And I will hopefully be doing a actual Floss Tube video, an update this weekend at some point to show you what I've been stitching on since the 1st of January. So I'll hopefully see you there, but in the meantime, like I said, keep yourself safe and well, and happy stitching everybody.